Donald Trump is trying and largely failing to sell the American people on why it's actually awesome and patriotic to pay more for everything you buy. And to be clear, I'm not just talking about eggs or whatever, although we will talk more about those. It's all that's being done to the government, all that's being done to our international trade agreements, the alliances we have. It's just chaos everywhere you look, from the supermarket to our borders. And that's not good. And people are growing more and more dissatisfied. And so I want people to know what others around America are thinking, and I draw sanity out of polling results like this. So let's jump to what CBS News has found. Voters are apparently expressing their dissatisfaction with the president's economic agenda in several key metrics. Just 23% of Americans now believe that Trump's economic policies are making them better off. 23%. Let's pause there for a second, because that's not great, I think, especially we just had an election. That whole honeymoon period that you typically get and that other presidents, including Joe Biden, got. Maybe that's still affecting him, but even so, 23 blows. You don't want that as your result. Now, some of them I think are actually right. 2 to 3% of America probably will benefit in the long term from his economic policies. So this represents both a bad result for Donald Trump, but also about 19% of the American public is utterly deluded about what actually is gonna happen to them financially, and I feel pretty bad for those people. But bear in mind, that 23% is a sharp drop off from just January, where it was at 42. I guess that's the high of the honeymoon period. That wasn't great, by the way, for a guy that you guys just elected. You chose him, and even you didn't have high hopes, but now most of them have figured it out. So every time you tell yourself, and if I do it, correct me, that people never realize what's going on, they never get, well, in some cases they do, and sometimes it doesn't even take a long time. So anyway, 42% is still in this poll, but it's 42% who think that Trump's policies are making them worse off. That's up from 28% just 2 months ago. So again, people can actually learn. A 33-point swing in this overall metric in a short period of time. And so that's good news. His overall approval rating in the economy is negative 52-48. One would think that the gap there would be bigger, but I guess some people are, I don't know, maybe this is almost admirable that many people who are like, this is gonna screw me over, like, well, I guess somebody's gotta be benefiting. Isn't that selfless of people in this polling result? I suppose that's something. Now, in this particular poll, CBS News, his overall approval rating is still 50-50. Buoyed perhaps by some of his most successful issue areas like immigration, where he's at 53-47. So that is positive. I mean, it's a positive number. It's not generally positive. It's not good. I'm not saying that. But also bear in mind, that's like the thing that he wins on, right? Oh, you libs and your open borders. You don't get the reality of what our immigration crisis is like, but he does. And that's why he's got a +6 overall rating on that. That's not good. Again, honeymoon period. Most people aren't even seeing the devastation yet. They haven't seen the camps. They're not necessarily paying attention to the many case studies that we present of people who've been utterly abused already by this, and how we've been demonstrating the lie implicit in all of the we're gonna get the bad criminals, the killers, the rapists, all of that. More people are gonna figure that out over time, but already he just has a narrow advantage on that. And then as we discuss, feel free to bring up these graphics on like what they think about his focus on lowering prices. Again, it's not good news. So that's something good. People also do seem to be largely supportive of checks and balances. When asked, should federal judges be allowed to review Trump's policies? Even a majority of Republicans, 56-44, said yes. 93% of Democrats say yes as well. That's positive. We'll go on into our discussion on that. Hold on really fast. Wait. What?
No, I'm gonna let you finish. I'm sorry, I'm just messing with you.
44% are like, they shouldn't be able to review his policies. Could they review Biden's? If a Democrat wins next time, can they review those? Are you gonna be consistent? I don't think you will. But anyway, sorry, JR. What do you think?
No, sorry. I was testing to see how incredibly kind you may be, because I wasn't gonna stop until you stopped. polling is usually one of those things where it's useful because it allows people in power, people that have been elected, to gauge how much popularity they have, so that maybe they can continue to have their job, or maybe get reelected, or maybe the folks around them getting reelected, so they can continue to implement their policies. This party has absolutely zero concern for polling. That's why he just makes up the numbers. He's done that since the beginning. I'm sure he'll tell someone that he's polling at 78%. I'm sure he'll tell people he's polling at 90%. He probably won't even give numbers. He'll just say, I'm polling at numbers that are unprecedented, that no one's ever seen before in this country. He'll say things like that because it doesn't matter to him. He doesn't care if people dislike him. His point is to control and to lord over and destroy people's lives. Has nothing to do with representation. He's a fascist. So, I know people don't like that I called him a fascist after his chief of staff called him a fascist. Oh, and after his vice president called him a fascist. Oh, and after 4 other generals called him a fascist. So if you call him a fascist, we should at least approach him like a fascist. Fascists do not care about poll numbers, because they would care about actually democracy if you cared about polling numbers. What they care about is controlling and destroying people's lives. So as he goes through enrolling and destroying people's lives, he's hoping that long enough people will stop and be concerned about where his poll numbers are, while he doesn't give a damn. They're looking to destroy people's lives for his sake, for the money that they're trying to take sake, with this upcoming their tax plan that they're gonna pass off as benefiting anyone else but themselves in this cabinet full of billionaires. They don't care about representing Americans. They care about destroying Americans. All the stuff that they say. So again, every time they've said what they said Kamala was gonna do, and what they said Joe Biden was doing, and starting forever wars, and spending $10 billion here on that war and that war, and then destroying the economy, and then raising your prices, all those things as they do it, they don't care that people are beginning to notice it. All they care about is destroying people's lives. So I didn't even like polling when we had some leaders that actually cared about whether or not they could keep their jobs. What it is an absolute ignoring of the American people, because they don't believe in democracy. They don't believe in representative democracy. They just don't. He believes in a dictatorship. His heroes are dictators. His heroes violate people's human rights. His heroes kill people. His heroes don't have any reverence for human life. They don't care. He wanted to shoot protesters in their knees in his first term. Other people stopped him. He does not care about this country. He cares about enriching himself and enriching the people that empowered him to carry out his number 2 issue after enriching himself, is controlling people's lives. Again, if we got to look up what fascism is, it's what he is. So think about what fascists care about. It's the same as asking if Vladimir Putin cares about what people think of him in this country. It has to do with the degree which you think Kim Jong-un cares about what people think of him that live in that country.
I would be careful, because what is defined as terrorism is getting ever expanded. You calling him that very naughty word, very unfair of you, could soon see you locked up in El Salvador.